Well, I'm back today on hot cross buns, and to give a bit of a verdict of the first ones I made is verdict number one: don't do anything in a rush when it comes to bread, because it'll bite you on the bum, and we don't like being bit on the bum. No, we don't. Painful. Anyway, I didn't give it time enough to prove and bait, so I probably knocked about an hour off the process. So that ends up with things being slightly denser than they should be, which is not too much of a bad thing, because these can be a little bit denser anyway in terms of like a chewy, nice texture with the fruit and everything in it. So not terrible, not bad. They're good, in fact. So some things that I discovered is the cross on top, and I've done a little bit of research since I've done this. And people say the cross can be a bit chewy to eat, and I found that straight away as I was trying to eat it. The cross was wanting to come off, and I thought, well, that's not good. You need to be able to eat what you're serving, otherwise there's no point to it. So we'll have a little discussion about that as we go. I think we will. So in the meantime, let's get cracked on with version 2. So what I want to kind of say about versions is this: when I do one and publish it as such, it makes me sound professional, I don't know, which I certainly am not. When I, put the video out there, these recipes do work in their own right. So if I do a version 2, version 3, or whatever, each version, well, hopefully, otherwise I won't be putting this out. Each version should work in its own right. So what I kind of say is, as I'm going, the most current one is as I've gone down the road a little bit and trial and error, I've found things to be better or worse. So that's the way I roll with this. So this is my recipe, and this is going to be done a little bit on the fly again today, but I kind of know where I want to go, make a few little tweaks and changes, but it all starts with the flour. So let's get our strong white flour, which is our Matthew Cotswold, which I'm not advertising, but it's just the one I use. What I kind of say to people, if you want to get consistency, don't be buying one type of flour this week and another one next week. Try to stick to the same one, or find one you like for certain things, because it gives you more consistent results, because they all absorb slightly different amounts of liquid, and they all behave slightly differently depending on what this percentage protein is. So the percentage protein is what gives strength to the bread. The protein is what turns into the gluten, which essentially gives you the stretch and strength of the bread. So without us worrying about all that malarkey, let's get it in the bowl. Otherwise we won't be making buns, we'll be talking, and that's no good. So 500 grams, get that in there. Get that in there, 500 grams, hopefully. There should be at least 500 here, because I'm sick getting ripped off. It's like 1.5 kilos I go to do the third batch, and I think I'm short. So not unless I'm using a bit of flour for something else, which I may well be doing, and forget I do that. It's probably the truth is that's what I'm doing, and I'm blaming them, which I shouldn't really, but it's worth blaming someone. You shouldn't do that though. Shouldn't blame somebody else. Take responsibility for your own flours. That's what I say. Right, here we go. So as you know me by now, if you don't know me, you need to watch more videos and get bored to death like everyone else has to. So I follow a certain protocol when I'm doing it. Not because it makes any difference. It's just so I remember what I'm doing. That's how it is. And you kind of see, you don't miss anything out that way. So I'm going to add fresh yeast, and I'm going to put in here about 25 grams. If I'm making normal bread, I'll use about 14 grams. But because this is an enriched dough, I'm going to put more in, and I'm going to put 25 grams, because it needs a little bit more oomph to get it, and just speeds the process up a little bit. That's what yeast does. You can do it slower. Look at that, I've got any yeast left. I'll have to go back to Tesco's and ask them for some more. There we go, that lot. Go on then. Here we go. Right, that's it. Out of yeast. Trip the Tesco's inevitable now. So next thing I'm going to do, and with salt. So yeast, salt and yeast don't mix together. They do eventually, They have to, otherwise you'll never make the bread. But if you put salt on top of yeast, salt kills the yeast. Not friends, not best of friends. You've got to introduce them gradually. It's that sort of relationship. So we're going to put 10 grams in. 10 grams of salt. There we go. You might find, and I've said before, some of these recipes use slightly less salt for sweet recipes, but I'm not, because I think it needs it. Yeah. Sometimes you just think, well, you just associate salt with savoury, but that's not the case. So the next thing I'm going to do, I'm going to put some sugar in, and I'm just looking what I'm doing. I could have run through all the ingredients first, would have been nice for you, wouldn't it? However, I didn't, because I wasn't thinking, and I should have been thinking. So I'm going to use slightly more sugar than I used last time. I used 50 grams. I think I'm going to up it to 60, because I think you can take a little bit more, just a little bit, not a lot. 60 grams. So let's reset it down to 0. And I'll try to explain kind of things as I go on, why, because you know, there's got to be a reason why you do things. If you don't have a reason, I ask the question, well, why am I doing it? What am I doing that for? Is there a reason behind it? If there's not a reason, then sometimes we're doing things for the sake of it, which is a waste of time, and I don't like doing things for a waste of time. It's got to have a reason behind it. Right, there we go. So let's 0 that. Next thing I'm going to put in is milk powder. Now milk powder, what that does is it gives you a softer crumb, a nicer flavour to it, and it just enhances it a little bit. You find that often people that use bread machines, they stick to these recipes to compensate for the process of the bread machine. But it's you know, it is a thing. I've done it with and I've done it without. Like I say, I wouldn't do it unless I tried it and seen there was definite difference. So I'm going to use 40 grams of milk powder in this particular recipe, if I can sort myself out. So here we go. Let's get it in there. 30. If it was a bit more, I wouldn't be worried. Some ingredients you can add a bit more of and a bit less, and it doesn't do much, doesn't make much difference to the recipe as such. This particular one, if I was a few grams out, it wouldn't change the world. But we like to keep things right if we can. And the other thing I'm going to use, which I've said before I use, is this dough improver. And it's Baking Beauty and Beyond, it's called. And what it does is it improves the texture, the rise of the bread, and it also improves the longevity, so it'll last a little bit longer. So I've used with and I've used it without, and you can see a difference. So that's why I use it. Hence, otherwise I wouldn't use it. You don't have to. It just gives you it just gives you a bit of an improvement. So that's all we want, a bit of an improvement. If it gives us that improvement, then we're happy. If not, don't bother. But it does. So we're going to put 10 grams. No, we're not. I said I was on the fly, and I am. I'm going to put 7 in, 7 or 8. I can go up between 5 and 10. And what I don't want to do is make it over puffy. But I think I put 7 last time, and it did. Well, I say it did make it over puffy because I didn't let it rise enough. So I don't really know. But I'll put 8 in. We'll see. So that's going to get rid of that. So we're now on to the last of our dry ingredients before we go to wet. So cinnamon, I'm going to put about it. This is the sweet stuff, and I'm going to put about a teaspoon, and maybe it's a touch more. Maybe it's a teaspoon and a half. I put a good teaspoon in last time, and it was good, and you can taste it. But I'm just going to go a touch more. So about a teaspoon and a half of cinnamon. I've got some allspice, which is a mixture of cinnamon, cloves and nutmeg, which I'm going to put nutmeg in as well. But allspice is a nice little blend to put in there. I'm just going to go at half a teaspoon of allspice. I'm just sticking with the kind of the traditional sort of flavours for hot cross bun, without without going off piece too much in a direction that I really don't want to go. So I'm going to put nutmeg in, and I think you can do with a little bit more nutmeg than I give it last time. So I'm going to maybe put about half in this time without grating my fingers, or till it smells so. Don't use dry. I've said that before. Don't use dry. Waste time. You can't even taste it. Over. You might as well go and put some fluff in out from under your bed. Don't do that though. No, don't like fluff. No, stick with the dry cinnamon rather. They're the nutmeg, the whole nutmeg. Don't put fluff in there. Right, that'll do us. Actually, there's only a bit left. Get a bit more in there. That'll do. That'll do us. Right, now before we go on to our wets, let's make a bit of room for myself, because we're always short of room, always short of space. I'm going to this time use an orange, and we're going to use a lemon. So we're reinforcing that kind of fruit flavour, and what the zest, and I'm using the zest, not the orange, not the whole thing. What it does is the essential oils from the skin, and you can actually see when you grate it, there's like a little spray, give a lovely perfume to it. So it adds a different dimension than just fruit itself. So it just gives this perfume. It's a strong, but very, for me, it's like an intoxicating smell. I love it. Talk about intoxication. Right, yeah, I've got the, right, okay, so orange as well. So I'm going to get the zest of an orange and a zest of a lemon. And we're going to go from there, see where we splodge in all of this. So we're doing all right up to now. I think I'm remembering what I should be putting in. I don't have many ingredients kicking around that I'm thinking what's that sitting there for. So there we go, we've got orange. We've got lemon in there, and this is just purely optional. I mean, I'm going for it because I think it'll be nice. You might not think it's nice at all, and think, yeah, don't like that, don't use it. It's as simple as that. And this is the great thing about these sort of recipes, and what I want to get across is, and some people say to me, can I put this in instead of that? And unless it fundamentally changes the recipe, of course you can. It's absolutely fine what you want to put in. If you want to put dates in there, put dates in there. If you want to put cranberries in there, put whatever you like. Dried fruit is not going to change the recipe of the bread. It's just an additive that goes in there. Put too much in it, it'll be a bit of a problem. But yeah, whatever you like. So what we're going to do is we're going to put eggs in now. So it's an enriched dough. But before I do that, because I have missed something now, because I haven't even got it out the fridge yet, and I don't even think, because I didn't get it because I wanted to talk about it. I'll get another block. I need some butter and fire there. Just hold your horses. In here, Dizzy. In here. That's my little dog. Hold your horses there. Yeah, I'm going to put, I think last time I put 50 grams of butter in. Now, what that does is give flavour and softness to the bread. And I need a knife, don't I? Now, the reason I wanted to talk about the butter is it's just adding a fat. So all I wanted to kind of get across is, if I wanted to, and I didn't want to put butter in, I could put olive oil in. I could put rapeseed oil in. I could even put yogurt in if I wanted. Yeah, I could put yogurt in because that's a fat. And I've actually made once, and I need to do it again because I stuffed up, because I was doing a bit of a comparison between yogurt and another one. And the yogurt, I did the yogurt one after, and the yogurt absolutely went daft, like really rose quickly. And I thought, now I didn't have the tin to bake both. So I had to leave it there, and by the time I got round to kind of touching it, it overproofed. So, but I need to have a go at doing that again because I think it'll be good. So I've got me fat in there, and again going on to the liquid side of things. So to bear in mind, you might think you're putting eggs in, you're putting this in. Why do you put so much milk, liquid in one and not in the other? You've got to realise that other things contain water. Butter 20% water, eggs has 75% water in there. We've got milk only has 90% water. So there's things we kind of got to bear in mind when we're trying to achieve the overall balance of water. But don't worry about that, because I worry about it. You don't have to. So get the eggs in there. Let's. I don't even need to do that. If you tap them on the top, what that tends to do, flat on a flat surface, it'll stop you getting the shells in there generally. There's always an exception, isn't it? I was expecting to do it there. Right, I'll have to get back to that. Somebody's trying to phone me. Right, I better crack on because I'm a wanted person. So the next thing we're going to do, we're going to put, I put all milk in last time. I'm not going to do it this time. I'm going to mix it with milk and water. So I'm going to put 160 grams of milk, and I'm going to put 100 grams of water, and then we're going to get this on, and we're going to come on, and we're going to get it kneading for about 15 minutes. 160, so it's a bit over. So I'm going to put about, let's say, 95 grams of water in there. So I'll zero that just so I know what I'm doing. 95 grams of water, and then we'll get that on. So it should have been 160 milk and 100 of this, but I'm just going to adapt it, which you can. It's fine. And if it was a bit more, do you know what? I'll put 100 in, because if it's a bit more, it's totally fine. Right, I'm going to get this on. It's going to knead now for 15 minutes. I'm going to phone my mate back, and happy days. See you in 15 minutes. Bye for now.